on this hire and this 3 or 4 month period in Jaguars history as being one of the most significant things, ever. Because not only do you get, a coach that everyone has, Mike, everyone I've talked to, everyone has an asterisk on Urban Meyer. Okay, and that asterisk is that he's quit jobs at 45, 46, and 54 years old. And he's never lost. And he's about to lose. Who knows how much, but he's about to lose. But the whole thing is, Jacksonville Jaguars, Shad Khan, smart businessman, is going to take the gamble. And so, hey, it's going to be fascinating to watch. I would bet you that the Jacksonville Jaguars will be a subject on this program 5 times as much in the next 12 months as they have been in the last 24 months. Because Urban Meyer is going to be interesting. He's going to bring a lot of attention to the job. He's going to draft Trevor Lawrence. And we're going to see this team start to take the steps back to respectability. Now, is it a good hire? We'll find out. If he Sabans it, if after 2 years he's under 500 and he calls Shad Khan and said, I can't do this, I just can't do it, I got to get out, then we're going to say, Shad, you should have listened to the warning signs. But today, it's exciting, it's fun, it's good for Jacksonville, and I think it's good for the NFL.
And that is the big news on this Friday morning. The Jaguars hiring former Ohio State and Florida coach Urban Meyer, which right there, in and of itself, the hire, the timing, what does it do? It Bigfoots divisional round weekend. What are we talking about? We're not talking about any of the 4 games right out of the gates, are we? We're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Why the hell else would we have any reason to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars? They stink. They've stunk. They've stank. And now all of a sudden they've got Urban Meyer. And you're right, whether it works or whether it doesn't, the Jaguars are relevant now. They'll be relevant for as long as Urban Meyer is there. And, Peter, as you were explaining that, I thought of 2 people. One, you mentioned if he Sabans it, Nick Saban, 2 years with the Miami Dolphins, tormented, hated it, couldn't wait to get back to college football because he couldn't stack the deck with the equivalent of 10 first-rounders every year instead of the 1 first-rounder that you get as an NFL head coach. Because, like Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, excellent recruiter, getting the best players, easy to win a lot of football games when you have the best players on your team. Second name I thought of, Peter, and this was inspired by an observation you made in the days leading up to the 2019 season when Kyler Murray was a rookie. Kyler Murray's never lost. Kyler Murray has another option in baseball. What's Kyler Murray going to do if all of a sudden he's lost 3 games in a row when he'd lost 3 games combined in his high school and college careers? Is he going to say, I'll fight through the adversity? Or is he going to say, screw this, I'll go play baseball? So Urban Meyer, same deal. Is he going to fight through the adversity? Or is he going to say, screw this, I'll go coach USC or some other program where I can stack the deck, where I'm not constantly tormented? And torment is the key. Chris Spielman had some great comments a couple of years ago on a podcast when Urban Meyer was going through the final throes of his time with Ohio State, and he was bent over, and is it health issues? What is it? And Spielman made it clear that it's very simple. You can't let the job consume you, and Meyer is letting the stress of it consume him. Well, if it consumes you, when your team is always in the conversation for the best in the country of 100-plus programs, it's going to consume you even faster when you're struggling just to stay in 3rd place in the AFC South, Peter.
Yeah, I think the really interesting part of that right there, Mike, is, okay, so if you look at what happens when you take a head coaching job, in college football, you have a very finite job to do, okay? You have assistants who go recruit for you, who report back to you. You might have to go for the kill with certain players, okay? But at a level of Florida and Ohio State, you are not on the road for 200 days a year. Okay? You have to basically manage the program, be brilliant, and as an offensive mind, he is really, really smart. But in the NFL, I believe there are so many more things you have to worry about in addition to the fact that you've got 31 other franchises, including 3 in your own division, who are either almost as good as you or better than you, in terms of talent, in terms of resources. And look at this division now. And let's just assume that there is peace in our time in Houston after the season, and they can smooth things over, with Deshaun Watson. I don't know if they can, but the Houston Texans have one of the best 5 quarterbacks in football, and you've got to play them twice a week. Ryan Tannehill, he's one of the best 10 quarterbacks in football. You've got to play him twice a year. And now Indianapolis, I have no doubt that Chris Ballard and Frank Reich will figure out the quarterback position. Whether that is going to be, and I doubt it, Carson Wentz, or you go with Rivers one more year, or you take the jump and you start developing a younger quarterback. So nobody is going to be Purdue. Nobody is going to be Illinois, okay? And right now, that is what I think everybody is concerned about losing. And I've heard from someone, who knows Urban Meyer very well, is that, he said he thinks that Urban Meyer understands that the difference is if you lose a second game in college football, your season is over. But in the NFL, you could lose a 6th game and your season is still alive. So he's not going to go as crazy after a loss. We'll see if that's true. But that's what I hear the sort of Urban Meyer ethos entering this job is going to be.
That's definitely the vibe among Ohio State fans. They understand you can get maybe away with 1. If you get to 2, that presumption every year that you're going to be in the mix for the national championship goes away. And it is a ton of pressure. And look, it's more localized, but those Ohio State fans are over the top crazy. They're more passionate than any fan base in the NFL. I can guarantee you of that. So maybe there will be less pressure, as crazy as that sounds, even though it will be much harder to dominate the way that he dominated at the college level. And Peter, you mentioned the Texans. You ran through the quarterbacks. A point that someone made to me yesterday, and it was good enough that I stole it and wrote about it last night on PFT, the Texans are now under even more pressure to not screw up their hire, and they're all over the place. Hey, let's talk to Eric Bieniemy. Oh, wait, we blew the window to talk to him during the bye week. Now we have to wait till the Chiefs are done. Who are they going to hire? Are they trying to placate Deshaun Watson? What's their vision? Who's in charge? What other changes are they going to make? They better get a good coach in there because now you got Urban Meyer, Frank Reich, and Mike Vrabel in the AFC South that the Texans head coach is going to have to match wits with twice per year. So as the Jaguars turn into a team to be reckoned with, the Texans have to worry about falling off the map, and the mere fact that Urban Meyer is with the Jaguars making Deshaun Watson more determined to get the hell out of Houston.
I mean, we'll see. I'm one of these who, one of these people who, I don't think it's over for Deshaun Watson in Houston. I think that you've got to give the general manager who just took over this position a week ago, you've got to give him a little time. You've got 3.5 months, Mike. You don't have to make a decision next week. You don't have to make a decision next month. You don't really have to make a decision until the first day of the draft, which I believe is April 29th. And so, I say, just let all of this simmer down. The water is at a boil right now. Let's wait till it gets to room temperature. And let's wait till the Texans hire a coach. And on February 10th, reach out to Deshaun Watson and ask if either at a very respectful distance, social distance, we can get together, the 3 of us, and have a conversation, and maybe bring an owner who, Deshaun probably has very little use for now, because he thinks that Cal McNair ignored him in looking for a general manager and perhaps a coach. But I just think that needs to be soothed. We'll see what happens. I'm not saying it's going to get solved. I'm not saying it's not going to. But I think to say with any kind of certainty that Deshaun Watson has played his last snap for the Texans, I just think is way premature.
My point, though, is the Texans got to make a good hire at coach now that Meyer's in the division, and that hire is going to influence whatever Deshaun Watson does.
By the way, don't you think now in some ways that it really, it kind of increases the pressure on the Texans to hire Eric Bieniemy? Don't you think so?
Well,
because honestly,
yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, no, I agree with you.
Okay.
I mean, they've got to get this right. They've got to get things soothed, and their only chance of soothing it with Deshaun Watson, I think, is hiring the guy that he said go hire.
Right. I agree totally. And look, I don't care how it comes about. You know, it's like when people say, oh my God, so-and-so wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. I can't name you other than the cause celebs like Terrell Owens. I can't name, I'm on the committee for 30 years. I can't name you, oh, was he a first ballot? I don't remember. You know, you remember the famous ones because people keep bringing it up. But it's just like, would anybody ever remember after Eric Bieniemy, goes to the Super Bowl in his 4th year with Houston? Oh man, they screwed it up. They had to be forced into hiring. People would remember it, but it would become an old story. And in my opinion, it doesn't matter how you get a job. It doesn't matter how you get there. When you get the job, take advantage of it. And personally, I don't care. I really, very selfishly, I'm sorry, I want to see the guy get a chance.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.